Hey guys, today we're going to go over an update of how I plan to trade the NZD/USD's weekly bias, and we'll cover a new daily bias on the Euro Yen. Alright, so let's start with the NZD/USD. Okay, this is a weekly chart. Let me run you by the current setup I'm looking at. So the last weekly long trade that form was right here, and the last weekly short trade that form was right here. Then if you recall last week, this bias was confirmed to be long. Or in other words, price is likely to reach this pivot high before reaching this pivot low. However, I was mentioning I'll only take 4 hour and above confirmation for this bias, so I did not take this long entry. But let me show you how I view this setup. Let's go over to the 1 hour chart. Okay, so on this 1 hour chart last week at this point right here, there was a breakout, immediate break back in. However, immediately price came up to that pivot high to confirm that weekly bias to be long. Now, moreover, right at this point right here, there was a 15-minute aggressive long entry setup with a stop loss at this pivot low right here. And at the current moment, price seems to be headed toward its main target. Okay, so at this point, there's two things I'm looking for. One is an override short of this aggressive long entry. And the other is that I'm still waiting for that 4 hour lower confirmation. So let me show you what I'm looking for on the 4 hour chart. All right, so on this 4 hour chart, if price could come down to this trend line, break it out, immediately break back in, however, come down to its pivot low to confirm that weekly bias to be short, I'll be willing to take an aggressive short entry. So I'll be watching the 1 hour and 15-minute charts for further strong short strength to take that short entry. Okay, and I'll keep you guys updated with this one. Let's go on to the Euro Yen. Okay, and if you're having trouble understanding what I'm talking about in terms of biases and lower confirmations, check out my analysis manual. Okay, and the link for that is in the details section of this video. All right, this is a daily chart. Let me run you by the current setup I'm looking at. So the last daily long trade, that form was right here. The last daily short trade, that form was right here. So let's do our initial analysis and see how much long and short strength there is for each side. Let's go over to the monthly chart. Okay, so on this monthly chart, that daily short trade formed right here. And there's actually a mini gap right here providing long strength. Okay, so that daily short trade actually has negative short strength. Okay, and that daily long trade formed right here. And as you can see, we have a legitimate trend line providing long strength, as well as this small gap right here providing long strength also. All right, let's finish up this analysis. Let's go back to the daily chart. Okay, so on this daily chart, this long trade right here has a nice full candle right here, providing a good amount of long strength. However, the short trade right here is pretty much a big doji, which signalizes a fair amount of neutrality. All right, so putting it all together, the initial analysis is stating that this bias is long, or in other words, price is likely to reach this pivot high before reaching this pivot low. Okay, but in order to take an entry, we need lower confirmations. So let me show you what I'm looking at. Let's go over to the 1 hour chart. Okay, so on this 1 hour chart, if price could come down to this trend line, break it out, immediately break back in. However, price comes down to that pivot low, I'll confirm that daily bias to be short, and moreover, I'll be willing to take an aggressive short entry in this case also. Okay, and I'll keep you guys updated with this one. Okay, so today let me talk about making sense of a chart. So a beginner trader may look at a chart and see how price is going up and down and sideways and all over the place and become overwhelmed by the chaotic nature of price. So as traders, the first thing we want to do is to somehow make sense of a chart. Now that's when biases come in. Now, as well as biases being mandatory for a day trader because it creates many trading setups throughout the year, as well as providing clear-cut stop loss and target levels, biases at the very core have a function to provide a way to make sense of a chart at any given time. Or in other words, it tells us a story or the narrative of a given currency pair. So if you're a beginner trader, the first thing you want to do is begin analyzing biases to create a foundation for your trading. Now it's going to take a little time to get used to analyzing biases, so I recommend analyzing more than one pair. Okay, and moreover, I suggest beginning with pairs that have less chaotic price action. Now that would be the Euro USD, the dollar yen, or the pound dollar. Okay, and if you have any questions about biases, let me know. Alright, so that's it for this weekly analysis. I hope you guys have a great week, guys. Thanks for watching. Okay, bye.